So today we are going to be looking at Clawdbot. Now, if you've never seen this, basically is a new bot that's just come out. You can check it out here on the GitHub. And this is like a personal assistant that just runs 24/7. So for example, here you can see on the GitHub, the Claude, this bot has been connected to WhatsApp directly, which means that you can use it 24/7 pretty much, as you can see. And it's like a personal assistant that runs on your own devices. So it can answer you on the channels you already use: WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Discord, Google Chat, Signal, etc. And it can render a live canvas you control as well. Some people are actually using this directly to clear inboxes, send emails, manage calendars, check you in for flights, etc. And you can see it can also run on your machine directly. So for example, a lot of people, what they're doing right now is like buying a Mac Mini and then just having Claudebot running directly on it 24/7. It's pretty simple to install, like you can see here. So you just run the terminal commands and then you can go from there. And it also has a bunch of skills that you can connect with it called Claude Hub, right? So basically you can connect your Claude bot directly to these Claude skills. So for example, it could be like managing Trello or managing your Slack or managing your calendar, etc. It can also run on pretty much any device that you want. So you can see here, a lot of people are getting Mac Minis for some reason. I guess it's a nice way to silo away Claudebot, but you don't have to. You can use it on pretty much any device that you prefer. And you can also use it with Minimax as well, as you can see right here. The other cool way that you can do this is if you don't have a Mac, if you're only on Windows, you can use a virtual private server. They actually have documentation to run it on a private server as well. So if you don't have a separate device or you don't have a Mac, then you can install Clawdbot directly with VPS as well. There's also some really cool automations and skills that you can connect this with. So for example, you see here, we've got home automation. You can control like your home automation hub, control like smart home devices, lights, thermostats, sockets, etc. directly with Clawdbot, which is pretty insane. And you can see the installation instructions on how to set this up. If you actually have a look at the interest over time on Google Trends, this is absolutely blowing up as well. So you can see how many people are checking this out. Like, look at the interest over the last 24 hours. If you've not already checked out Clawbot, you're probably already behind. So you just want to make sure you check it out as well. And then, yeah, like we've talked about, it just like, for example, with anti-gravity or notebook LM, if you've seen my other videos, you can connect Clawbot to skills as well. Plus, it's free to use. You can use VPS if you want to as well. Kazra Dash has said, I've bought a Mac Mini and I'm taking over the world with Clawbot. There we go. There must be a lot of sales on Mac Mini over the last like 24 hours, something like that. And someone says, guys, if you connect anti-gravity to notebook LM and use it, that's what makes it totally autonomous and efficient. Pretty insane. All right, it's going to be interesting to have a look at this, see what else we've done with this. So here's the other thing as well. It's like you don't need a Mac Mini. You can use a laptop. You can use a gaming PC. You could use a cheap VPS or even a Raspberry Pi. Sorry, not high. So yeah, you can run it anywhere pretty much. So Raymond says, what can Claudebot do? So you compiled a list of what users have built, etc. So for example, for infrastructure, you've got like dedicated headless servers, isolated account setup, fully offline local models, Raspberry Pi, etc. For multi-agent systems, you could have this running on Docker with 3 different independent bots simultaneously, multiple bots with unique personalities collaborating. You've also got this for autonomous coding agents, CLI setups as well. And then this is one of the most interesting parts is the personal life automation. So, for example, calendars, daily planning, etc., health and sleep tracking. Pretty interesting what people are doing with this. And browser and web automation. So, for example, full browser control, web scraping. Some people using it for voice memos, Spotify control. Pretty insane. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how does this work, how to set up, etc., what I've actually done is I've created a full guide to this inside the AI Success Lab using the Claudebot automation framework, like you can see. So this is like an open source project. And what makes this insane is like it's not just a chat. It's not just a chatbot. It can actually control a computer, browse websites, interact with applications, implement multi-step workflows. You're basically getting an AI assistant that can literally do tasks for you, right? And it can run on a full computer for you. It can run on a Mac Mini or Raspberry Pi or anything like that. And most AI tools are assistants right now. But Clawbot is different because it can actually implement stuff. It can log into websites, it can fill out forms, scrape data, post content, monitor dashboards, right? Complete entire workflows and run 24/7 as a personal assistant. And then that personal assistant can connect to, for example, like your WhatsApp and that sort of thing. So what I've actually done is I've set up a 30-day implementation plan, like you can see here if you want to get this set up. And you can see here we've got a bunch of use cases, which I'll come on to in a second. So let's see what people are doing with this. So checking incoming mail, incoming messages, ordering things, sending reminders, creating issues on GitHub, syncing Google Places. It's quite interesting that it can read X as well. So it can read all your bookmarks on X and then discuss them with you, generate nice conversations and summaries, etc. Keep track of stuff, time blocking calendars, scoring tasks, importance and urgency. Some people just, like I said, some people are just going all out and getting these, getting a Mac Mini just for a Clawdbot, which is crazy. People building like full weekly meal planning systems in Notion, creating servers. Someone said they cleared 10,000 emails from their inbox. I don't know whether I believe all of this stuff, but I like it. I like the sound of it. Chikango says, do you need a Mac Mini? No, so you can run Clawdbot on any device you want to. So for example, it could be a laptop, it could be a phone, it could be like an old gaming PC, a Raspberry Pi. You do not need a Mac Mini. Ernesto said, neat show, you stated that all truly great thoughts are conceived whilst walking. I would agree with that, being on a walking treadmill here. I actually got a full setup guide. This looks interesting as well. So let's see how this works. So this is a tweet from Damien Player. He said, Clawbot looks intimidating. It's not. Here's a full setup guide in 30 minutes. So it's an open source AI assistant that runs 24/7 on the server. You can talk to it through WhatsApp or Telegram, and it does actual work, right? So it's basically like an assistant that can just run remotely on a separate device 24/7. And the whole setup is copy and paste essentially. So the first thing you want to do is just get a free server. So you can actually set up, for example, AWS with Amazon, create an account, and then you're going to start setting up this directly here. Should we try and set it up? Let's create an account. Let's try and set this up. All right, I'm just going to sign up for an AWS account in the background. iPhone, I think you could if you wanted to. Joining in the middle, what's happening was signing up for a Clawbot account. Do I have Clawbot? We're setting up today, live on AWS. So I'm just signing up in the background here. All right, so we signed up for the AWS account. We should be good to go on that. Let's move on to the next part. Go to AWS, create account, search EC2. There we go. Oh, this is messy. All right, launch instance. There we go. Name it whatever you want. So we'll call this Clawbot. Select Ubuntu. Search free for instance type. So let's see, we've got Ubuntu, free tier. Okay. Launch instance. Then we have to click connect twice. So let's just plug that in. And we'll take a screenshot of this. Figure out what we need to do next. All right, enter a key pair name. Let's try that. Plug that in. Leave the pair settings as they are. Click launch instance, blah, blah, blah. All right, nice. Let's click launch instance here. It's downloaded the key as well. After the instance launches, go back to your EC2 dashboard, which is over here. Click on instances in the left bar. There we go. Find your Clawdbot instance. There we go. Then click connect at the top. All right, so just for anyone who's not clear what we're doing right now. So we have set up AWS, we've created a new account, launched the Ubuntu sequence for the instance, and then we can start plugging in the instructions inside terminal to install Clawdbot. So let's keep going right now. We'll go back to Damien's example. I'm actually going to put this, Damien's guide seems really, really good. So what I'm actually going to do is inside the live stream notes from today, I'm going to put a link to his guide, right? So if you want to check out his guide, which seems to be awesome so far, I've put a link inside the description right there for you. So now we need to copy and paste this line. Paste that in. It's beginning to install this bad boy. And we should be installing the Clawdbot now. So you can see it's installing Clawdbot directly to this window, to this instance. Seems pretty simple so far, even though it looks a little bit technical or intimidating, it's actually pretty chill. So it should take about 2 minutes to complete. and then it will start the wizard automatically in the same terminal window apparently. So we'll see what we get in a second. Still installing Clawdbot right now. So far, so good. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what's the difference between Clawbot and everything else, right? So Clawbot is an open source AI assistant that runs 24/7 on a server. So you control it through WhatsApp or Telegram. It does real work. You can clear your inbox, schedule meetings, research companies, follow up with leads, write content, and manage your calendar, right? And you can set up with a free AWS server. Like you can see, I've actually included the full setup instructions, like you can see inside the AI Success Lab, which is completely free. Link in the comment description if you want to get the copy and paste instructions, right? And then from here, you would just set it up, run the wizard, set up the Telegram bot, and you should be good to go on that once you've done that, right? Now, you might be wondering, okay, like, what's the difference here? Well, Clawbot is powered by Claude's intelligence, meaning it can just run autonomously on wherever you install it, right? So you deploy Claude once, you configure it with your business knowledge, let it handle unlimited conversations. And it just frees up a lot of time. It's a lot more sort of autonomous than anything else I've seen. So if we go back to EC2 now, this seems to almost be stuck, doesn't it? Let's try it again. Now you might be wondering, okay, what's the difference between Clawdbot versus MCP versus regular Claude? Okay, so regular Claude, you visit Claude AI via the website or the app to chat. Claude MCP use the same Claude interface, but now Claude can access your files and your tools, right? So for example, Google Drive or GitHub. Claudebot comes to you on WhatsApp or Telegram or Slack or Discord, plus it's self-hosted, right? So this is the difference. The old way is like you open up Claude AI, you type a message, you get a response, right? You're stuck in one interface, no voice interaction, limited to what's in the conversation, and it's cloud only. With MCPs, right? You open Claude, it can read Google Drive or different apps, and it's still in the Claude AI interface. Claude can access your data, more powerful, still cloud only, right? The new way of Claudebot is that you send WhatsApp message, Claude responds. You talk to your phone, Claude responds. You message in Slack, Claude helps your team, right? And so you can use it in these different apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, and Discord. It runs on your computer and server, so you control everything instead of running on Anthropic servers. The old way is it was type only. The new way is like you can talk to Claude like a voice assistant. The old way is each person has their own Claude account. The new way is that you have one Claude bot that serves your whole team. And for automation, like the old way was manual copy and paste between Claude and other apps. The new way is browser control, webhooks, that sort of thing, right? And also, the old way is like you visit Claude when you need it. The new way is Claude is always listening to you on your messaging apps 24/7, right? So you can see the difference here in terms of how it works. So you can chat inside WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Discord, iMessage. You get voice interaction, self-hosted. You access your files, you got group chats, you got browser control, and it's 24/7, always on, right? So this is the difference between them. So you can see it's not that easy to install. We're just waiting for this to get fixed, hopefully get sorted out soon. Working through it. All right, now to be honest, the AWS method, not very good at all. You can see it's a total mess. So I'm going to show you a different method instead, because that took way too long. So we're going to try running this locally instead. like you can see, and that seems to work way better, way faster latency. So you literally just npm install it, Clawbot latest, blah blah blah, and then we're good to go. We're going to click. It says, I understand this is inherently risky. I'm going to go yes, okay. And then we're going to select our API key provider. You can actually choose different API keys here, which is interesting. So you can use Minimax as well, or Anthropic. I'm going to go with Anthropic. And I just need to go and get my API token. So if I go to console.anthropic, then we'll go to keys over here and just create a new one. All right, so we got the key, and then now we just have to set up the API that we want to use. So we can choose here between like Discord, Slack, Telegram, WhatsApp, etc. Let's go with Telegram. So I'm just going to set that up and get the token. Now I'm just going to link this to my phone. And then I'll be back in a second, all right? Back in a minute. All right, so we're back in the game, peeps. And then let's follow the instructions here. So we need to open up the bot father, run new bot or my bots, and get a bot token. So I'm just going to follow these instructions. Obviously, I have to get a token, so I'm not going to show this. All right, so I've grabbed that. And now we have this. So I've entered the Telegram bot token, and from here we've got a choice between these. So I'm going to go with npm. You can install these different skills, as you can see right here. So you've got, like, for example, all this crazy stuff like passwords and stuff like that. I'm just going to, well, let's see if we can go with something nice and chill. Super messy when you're using this. I'm going to skip it for now. And now we have Clawdbot set up. Boom, shakalaka. All right, so this is linked to Telegram, I think. You can install new skills over here. You've got nodes, sessions, instances, channels, etc. Overview. Pretty simple and easy. All right, so let's try some of the wins that Damien recommends. So check my last 10 emails to tell me which ones actually need a response, or research and give me a 3 point. Let's try this one. Research. I just don't want to show my emails on a live stream, to be honest with you. Didn't fancy that. So let's try this out. Research, Goldie Agency, and give me a 3 bullet summary of what they do. Boom. All right, I got it working. All right, that was messy. Messy, messy, messy. I'll tell you that for free. All right, so eventually got working. What I had to do is just restart the terminal, run through the instructions again, re-get the token, and then input it in. And finally, you can see it works now. So let's try this again. We're going to take the example like this, plug this in, hit enter, and now you can see that's beginning to work. And you can also see this is running inside Telegram as well. So we said working, and it said, yes, I'm here. Let's go. And you can see now, for example, if we say, okay, research Julian Goldie, it'll actually do a web search about Goldie Agency, and it's found information about us. So this is actually working now, which is awesome. So now what we can do is see what we got here inside the skills. I'm interested to know what are the best skills to use with this, to be honest. What people are doing with this. Let's see what we can do with this. All right. So let's see if we can connect it to our emails as well. We'll go inside here. Okay. Can we do Gmail? It's got workspace here. We'll try and install this. So it's got three ways of doing that. It can do IMAP, Gmail API, or browser automation. I'm going to say Gmail API. So try and set this up for, let's see what we got here. So we've got to run this in the terminal. Let's try that. That is a lot of work just to get this working. Let's see what else we can do here. Honestly, I'm not that... I still don't get it. Like, compared to other stuff, it doesn't seem that interesting. Let's try and install Bird, which is this Twitter bot. So you can use Twitter CLI for reading, searching, posting, engagement, etc. We'll go inside the chat here. And then you got to log in to actually search. I wouldn't like to connect Clawdbot to my Twitter account, to be honest. Like, I think that's super risky. I think that's a little bit dodgy, to be honest with you. Fat J says, you read in the chat. The thing about it is, this is basically a proto AGI, if you understand. I'd like to know how you think it's a photo AGI compared to anything else. For me, what I've seen is like it's not really doing anything new. You know, like you can already do browser automation. You can already control your browser with Claude and the browser agent. I'm not seeing how it's different versus anything else. How does it bypass things if going on TikTok and facing things like being recognized as a bot? So it uses browser automation, and then you have to log in manually from what I've seen. So it's just not that useful compared to anything else. You can see that it's actually searched Twitter directly here using browser automation. But let's see if this is this actually like let's have a look here. Is this actually a quote? Is this a real quote? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I think what it's done is it's probably searched Google directly for Twitter, because it couldn't get into Google. You have to like log in with your own account. And says it's a skin at best for marketing MCP servers or automate workflows. Yeah, I would agree. It seems like I mean, you could already do this inside, for example, NA10, right? You could connect NA10 to Anthropic, and then using Anthropic, you could connect NA10 to that, and then just go in your Telegram or your WhatsApp. I've shown videos about that before. It doesn't seem to do anything new that I've tested out. Also, you can't rein it in on your knees, and it's proactive. Doesn't it now have access to your Google Workspace? It didn't actually work. It really struggled with that. And it was pretty difficult to set up. It seemed more complicated than it needed to be to set up. I honestly think like Cowork was more impressive when it came out. Abdus watching from Egypt. Good to see you here. Guy says, Claude, don't you know? This stuff rarely works. Does a Clawbot also have voice? So you can use Telegram, right? You can plug in the voice right here and just command it with voice if you prefer. We got some viewers from, we got Ernesto from Mexico, and we got Mohammed from Pakistan. Welcome here. It's co-work with a brain. I'd be interested to know, like, what can, for example, what can Clawdbot do that co-work can't do? That would be interesting to know. What else we got here? So overview, channels, instances. You can see the instances, you can see where it's running right here as well. It's pretty useful. Sessions, cron job. Ah, this is cool. All right. So we've got this cron job section here. Basically what you can do is you can schedule events and tasks. Right. So you could say, okay, every single day, at this time on this schedule, go off and do this. That's pretty useful because you can't currently do schedule tasks inside Claude, but that would be great. For example, for us, like we're always coming up with new ideas for the AI Profit Boardroom, and you could just go off and do that daily. So that's pretty useful. I would say that's probably the best thing I've seen about this so far. The skills don't seem to be that good compared to anything else that I've used. I honestly prefer using Claude Code with skills, or anti-gravity with skills seems to be way better. We've got nodes section here, config. You can actually add more skills inside this section as well. So you can load up skills. I think you can just add a zip file with all the skills that you want to install, which is pretty good. Let's see if you can do that. So we click on add, nothing happens. You also see how I can't really scroll down here. The UI is a bit messy. Like for example here, if I want to go further down, I have to like zoom out. I can't just like scroll down normally. So it's not that responsive. It's okay. I mean, it's interesting. I don't see what all the hype is about. It doesn't really blow my mind in any way. ChatGPT is scheduler and it's called Pulse. Yeah, but I mean, ChatGPT, who's using that? In 2026, January 2026, who's using ChatGPT? Does it have a reminder feature? Yeah, so you've got the scheduler, so it can do that for you. Can the bot automate making videos, like edit videos, however a videographer would do, or another service could do it? You can do that with Remotion, right? So you can install the skill Remotion, and then from there go for it. All right. So, for example, if you wanted to edit videos or create videos with Clawdbot, I think you could probably add this as a skill. So let's try this out. And let's see what we got here. FatJ says, okay, I'm going to make an example. You have an idea on the road about something, you tell it to Clawdbot, and it's going to work on it in the background. So you can do that with like pretty much anything, right? You could do that with Claude Code or Cowork or almost anything that I can think of, you can do that with, right? And so this is not unique at all. I would have to agree there. Remote Telegram access to Clawdbot to have it do work. Yeah, but you can do that with N10 already. Edit TikTok videos, splice them up together. Not sure whether it could do that. But yeah, I think you could with Claude Code. Can you tell Claude Code to code something when you are not on a PC? Yeah, that makes sense. But you could do it inside the app, right? You could just get you could get Claude inside the web app to just code something up for you on the mobile app. So that's what I would do. This is really struggling with the Remotion skill. Overall, I'm going to say I think this is A bit too much hype for my liking. And I'm the guy who calls everything insane. So it's installed this now with Clawdbot. Fat J says, I am telling you the hype has a reason. Trust. Tell me what the reason is, though. I'm not sure what the reason is. I feel like no one can articulate the reason it has so much hype. Why is everyone using Mac Mini with this? Because it can run. Because it's kind of like siloed away, if that makes sense. And it can run autonomously on a Mac Mini whilst you go and do other stuff. So Remotion has been installed. So if we say, okay, create a video using Remotion for an SEO agency to talk about SEO rankings, let's see if it can do that. If it can't do this, then, you know, what are we doing here? Let's see. Fat G says, it's basically a person that works for you and thinks about stuff by itself and comes up with its own ideas based on needs. I've not seen it do that so far whenever I've asked it to do something. And then also Claude does that already. So if I need ideas and stuff, then I just ask Claude. So let's see if it can work its magic here. So say, give me a video of a cat dancing in the rain after we've installed Remotion, see if it works. Can it scrape expos? I think it can, but you'd have to log in, if that makes sense. It did actually scrape expos before, but it just did a quick Google, right? So if we scroll up here to the results, you can see, for example, I actually searched X here, and then it listed a bunch of the latest quotes from X, like you can see. So apparently it's created the video now. Let's see, can you open up the video? Can it take a task to solve like Agent Zero? Yeah, it's basically like Agent Zero. That's actually exactly what it reminds me of. It's very similar to Agent Zero. Fat J says you need to spend a lot of time to set it up. Sadly, it can take hours. People saying, I mean, you've seen me set it up today, and it took about, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes to set this up. See, if it was that smart, it would have just opened up this video, right? This one right here. So it's giving me the output details, but it doesn't tell me exactly where it is. I will say this is, oh, there we go. All right, it's opened it up now. So let me show you the video that it's created. So this is the video that we've generated using a combination of remotion with Clawdbot. So let's play this back. That looks pretty nice. It's a cat dancing in the rain, having a great time on a 10-second loop. But overall, I can't see it doing anything that Claude Code can't do. You know, it's just got a nice UI. That's the difference, probably. It's like a nice wrapper. Kind of, do you know what it reminds me of? It's a bit like when Manus first came out. When Manus first came out, it was like this, and it sort of blew everyone's mind. There was a lot of hype about it. But in reality, it was just like a small incremental step forward with AI. Can it use human avatars like Sora, like quality, not just graphics? So I think the best way to do that would just be to get Clawdbot to open up Sora with browser control and just use it directly right there. But that's basically it. That's how you can use this. So I've shown you how to set up Clawdbot. We've tested it out. My rating, it's okay. It's not mind-blowing just yet. Maybe if you add some more skills to it, it'd be really, really cool. But honestly, from what I can see so far, it's not that impressive. Can it spawn sub-agents? Not from what I've seen. You know, it's not going to run. Like anti-gravity, I would say is probably still better for sub-agents and stuff. So, thanks so much for watching. If you want to get the details on exactly how to install this, you can get them inside the AI Success Lab completely free. All the installation instructions that I use to set this up are inside the AI Success Lab. I've also given you a 30-day plan on how to master this. I've shown you how it works, what people are building with it, how it works. I've also included 100 prompts that you can test inside the video notes from today as well with Clawdbot. So if you want to try this out yourself, you can. And if you've not already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. This is an amazing community focused on helping you actually implement the stuff that I teach on my YouTube channel, right? So if you want to grow, scale, save time with AI, you can do that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Each week, what I actually do is test stuff like this. I mean, you saw how long it took to set this up. I actually condense each week 80 hours of my work into a 1-minute update so that you know, okay, here's what's worth checking out and here's what's to ignore based on this, right? And honestly, like with Clawdbot today, from what I've seen, maybe I'll do more tests, but so far from what I've seen, it's not that impressive. I would probably put it in the meh category. So feel free to check this out. Link in the comments description. Inside the community, you can ask any questions you have, get help and support whenever you need it. You can also jump on coaching calls if you need to get help in real time and ask questions in real time. And then also inside the classroom here, we've got a full course that shows you how to go from complete beginner to expert with AI automation, plus how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. You'll see all my best playbooks for stuff that's actually useful. So for example, if you want to learn how we automate X, how we automate newsletters, shorts, AI avatar videos, screen shares for AI avatar videos, it's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. We also have a full agency course here that shows you exactly how to get more clients with AI. On top of that, you can watch back the coaching call recordings. If you want to learn AI SEO and how to rank and be visible inside AI search engines so that ChatGPT and other AIs actually recommend your business, check this out. And then also you can see our full roadmap here. This is a full course on how to grow a YouTube channel based on what's working for me. The other thing that I would say here is it's not just me winning with AI. So for example, if we go inside the win section here, you can see all the cool stuff that people are building and creating with AI. Lots of people getting wins. It's not just me. And this is just an empowered community that's focused on helping you growing and learning with AI. So what we got here, Gal says these live videos are great. Always happy to help. And we have Mike who says, I have it running a setup to run Claude Code and Gemini CLI together for stuff and orchestrating through GitHub like an actual dev team. That's quite an interesting use case. And it can run full Claude sessions. So thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it as always. And I will see you on the next one, peeps. Cheers. Bye-bye.